didn't mean to do that, man. Kayfabe, lighten up. You caught me off guard here. I didn't realize the camera was on. Stand by. You're here at Chaos Corner. I'm Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel. Live to tape on Easter Sunday night for story time. That's right. Hold on a minute. You caught me off guard. Thank you for bearing with me. I greatly appreciate you guys being here. It is Easter Sunday, now Sunday night, leading into the craziness of the world in 2024, but He has risen. Just remember that, and we're all going to be okay. Faith, not fear. Stay mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually fit. Like-minded people, situational awareness, and discernment. Don't be distracted. Continue to live your life. Stay positive. Being a good Christian is important. Being a good person is important, no matter what your background is. Race, color, creed, culture, it doesn't matter. We know the craziness of what's going on here in 2024. Everybody's talking about everything from solar eclipse to wars to invasions of the border. We know what's going on. The economy, bridge collapse, everything. I'm here as a distraction for story time with the G.O.C. But I wanted to recognize what's going on in the world here in 2024. Go back and check out the last previous episodes I have up here. Over 2,800 videos on the channel. I can't thank you guys enough. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Say something. Get us in the algorithm. We're having a lot of fun here. You come here to learn things, as I say every episode. Historical facts. Things that you can go back and carry into the community with you. Whether it be about life, spirituality, being a decent person, or just my chicanery, my chaos, if you will. And of course, my over 50 years as an agent, producer, scout, researcher, historian. Mark. That's right, I said it. A mark. And I'm proud of it. And my over 40-year journey in this industry, this business. And of course, my 3 decades as a pro wrestling manager. Pillar post, coast to coast, and border to border. I took the damn pumps too, dagnabbit. I'm trying not to cuss here on Easter Sunday. It's one of the things I do that I have to repent for constantly. Shout out to our Lord and Savior. So, another edition of Storytime. Follow me on all social media platforms. You guys know what they are. At Big Daddy G.O.C. on X, aka Twitter. And the G.O.C. stands for the Guardian of Chaos. On Facebook, there's 2 accounts. If you listen to the videos, you know why I have 2 accounts. J-Brony, for all you jabronis and pencil neck geeks that have the brain of a dehydrated BB. No offense, man. Lighten up, kayfabe. It's not about my followers. But you know what? There's still like 80% of you that are watching. And I know you're watching. Go back and check out my State of the Channel, State of the Analytics here, show number 10. And you'll see. So I know you're out there watching. And I don't know if you know that I know, but just know that I know as He broke the chains, but I'm still in them because I'm still serving till my last breath. If you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. In order to get respect, you have to start with respecting yourself. Once you do that, you open other people's minds to respecting you. And there's 3 types of people in this world. That's right, there's 3. Those who don't know what happened, those who wonder what happened, and people like the G.O.C. that make things happen. Thanks for being here. So, we had some great story times here. Again, I enjoy doing this. Again, it's usually from a book, a magazine, the collection I have in a vast library of videotapes and DVDs and books and magazines, and the vault at Chaos Chronicles. A little bevy I picked up years ago with some interesting facts, and just because I read it from something and I give you my stories, that's why you're here, to make it relatable. My views, my thoughts, my opinions, my insider, my as a talent in this industry at one point. That's why you're here. But just because someone says it or reads it or it's in their book or their biography, hopefully it's accurate, but you got to do your own work and due diligence and research and be prepared. That's why there's over 28, coming up on 2,900 videos on this channel in 4 years. And I didn't start really hustling, the hustle and grind till about 3.5 years ago. So we're over that, well over that 1,000 subscribers, and I thank each and every one of you. We only have a few members. I can't thank you enough. It's not why I'm here, because I'd be doing it anyway. But of course, never needed, but certainly appreciated. That's for sure. But again, 2,900 videos. Go to the playlist. Go to the community page. I got a lot of information over on the community page where I cover the current business in real time. AEW, WWE, the pay-per-views. Personal updates. And again, we were talking about social media accounts. I already told you on X and on Twitter and on Facebook, Jay Brony, for all you jabronis up there. So, see, my mind's like a lazy Susan. It'll come back around. I tie it up like a bow. And, of course, Prodigio Fidelis El Guardian. Those are both on Facebook. And then, of course, on Get It Gap, Truth Social Rumble. I cover it all in the IWC because it's me. It's the G.O.C. Everything from history to in-ring action, chaos clips, story time, book reviews, live reports. History, as I said, that's what you get here on this channel. So check out everything. Take your time. Hey, listen, you could do one video a day. It's going to take you 4 years to 5 years to get through the information and product and content that I put out here. I'm not trying to be like anybody else with green screens and backgrounds, and because I'm down here in the bunker and so on and so forth. The playroom redone, re-over, the man cave, everything combined. You got to remember the 3 and 4 levels here at the Chaos headquarters. We have the lounge upstairs. We have the executive offices on the top floor. You guys know what's going on. Cameras everywhere. He's watching you, right? But in turn, I'm watching. And if you're smart out there, you'll be watching too. Be your own advocate. Let that marinate. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Let that sink in. Because I'll say that to say this. Because I tell it like it is. All right, let's get going here. Classes in section. Did I say in a section of seats? Or did I say in? What did I say? Well, you know what Bully Ray said to me? You know Bully Ray, the Dudley Boys, perhaps the greatest tag team of all time, or one of the greatest. In my opinion, it's the Road Warriors, the Freebirds, the Von Erichs, the Hart Foundation. We'll get on to it. He's the host of Busted Open After Dark on Wednesday nights on Busted Open Radio. He's co-host with Mark Henry, Tommy Dreamer, Thunder Rosa, Mickey James, I don't know, Dave LaGreca, the Ultimate Geek. Give him credit for his 13 or 15 years, whatever it is, Busted Open Radio. 2-time Hall of Famer, Bully and Devon. Under my tutelage, it was the Outcast Killers, Oman Tortuga, Diablo Santiago. We were in a series of tables matches throughout the greater New England tri-state Northeast area against Bubba and Devon. Team 3D, Bully, whatever you want to say. I almost said it. Trying to be cuss-free, at least today. Come on, man. Give me a break. I'm human. I'm trying. In a series of tables matches for the NWA World Tag Team titles. That's right. I took the what's up from Bubba and Devon and the old Dusty from Bully Ray. Bang, the elbow, the old Dipsy Dude crotch grab, and thank God I didn't let him pick me up with a big body slam because I went down like a sack of potatoes from that elbow drop. I gotta remember, I took 3 lefts and a right. What did you want me to do after being dragged in the hard way? On my shoulder by, and again, a boy said, you didn't get up high enough. Well, I was 300 pounds. You're the World Tag Team Champions, man. So he, in those matches, we got in for a test of strength. He called me a mofo. It's right here on the channel. All the stuff I'm telling you is here on the channel. Navigate it. Go to the playlist. Just getting back before I get into story time. And I told these stories before. If you've been here before, you know these stories. But I get new subscribers, 50 and 60 a month, allegedly. I don't know. The numbers aren't always showing it. So go check my State of the Union address, episode 10, State of the Channel here. So, Bully, I missed a couple of spots, but the fans didn't know it. Again, a couple thousand packed each night for an independent. That's unheard of. That's as big as shows like TNA, Impact nowadays, the NWA, MLW, AAA, New Japan, Ring of Honor. Let that marinate and sink in. Well, I had a cup of coffee, man. I had a cup of coffee in the industry. I'm just telling you my experiences, man. Including to this current day at Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling with the Paradise 4. 4 men that worked for the WWF and WCW. The Paradise 4. Pretty Paul Roma, Mario Mancini, Paul Perez, Big Dave Paradise. Do your research. I'm just telling you, giving you the facts. That's why you're here, to learn things. And for a distraction. Baseball season. UConn men and women in the greater New England tri-state Northeast area. As I said, the hockey playoffs, baseball season is going to be better than that. The eclipse. Stand by. I got a red Solo cup. Rest in peace, Toby Keith. I saw you perform a couple of times and may have even worked one of your shows. You guys know my vast background of working private security for many venues and bands, right? Red Solo cup. You fill me up, but it's Pellegrino sparkling mineral water. Now, just giving you a little entertainment. Stand by. Story time. I haven't gotten to it yet. And my fingers don't go around the cup. That's years of abuse and mangledness and being stomped on a couple times, more than a couple times. Let's get into story time. We're 12 minutes in here again, but this is what impromptu, ad lib. That's what it's all about. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Settle in. Story time. For generations, a good old-fashioned wrestling feud would end in one of two ways. With either the glorious face, the good guy, you guys know this, wallowing in the glow and admiration of fans, overcoming the odds and posing with their newly crowned hardware, or with the dastardly heel, the bad guy, if you will, cheating and lying his way to the top and basking in the demise of the fallen hero. Regardless of the obvious outcomes in the world's most entertaining male soap opera, female as well, chances are the highly contested feuds are culminated in some sort of over-the-top, and for a lack of better terms, because these guys have the brain of a dehydrated baby, over-the-top gimmick match. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and the kennel from the hell match. Let's see what we have here, guys, as I try and emphasize and drag my words out. Have you noticed that a little demonstrative tonight? I had a cup of coffee. It's Easter Sunday. The Lebans, the Ponzone is filled. The gullet, if you will. I'll be getting to the gym tomorrow. The big 6-0. Don't get crazy here. I'm getting it in, keeping it real, holding it down, maintaining the old man brand, the over 50 demo god. In the video here on the old producer's soundboard. I told you, I have it here from the 80s, back to the days in the late 80s when I went to the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and also was a DJ in my first gig at 16 years old. WLNV 90.1 FM radio. Just to give you a little background, and that's what you get here. But let's get on to the worst gimmicks here, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's why you're here, and we get diverted, we go impromptu, we go ad-lib, and this is why it's story time. Usually set for let's go with the Iron Man match. Again, just because they wrote it doesn't mean it's accurate. Do your due diligence like I do, guys and gals. Usually set for 30 or 60 minutes, the wrestler with the most victories after that time is declared the winner. Now, this is the Iron Man. The most famous Iron Man match was held at WrestleMania on March 31st, 1996, when Shawn Michaels battled Bret Hart for the World Wrestling Entertainment title. World Wrestling Federation. Leading into WrestleMania 40, which is next weekend, here in 2024. After neither man scored a win during the first 60 minutes, Gorilla Monsoon acting authority figure at the time, ordered the match to go into sudden death, and well, the rest is sweet chin music history. We're well aware after that in the Montreal screw job. You don't want to get into that now, do you? We're 15 minutes in. Hell in a Cell. Established on October 1997, this demonic structure has been the make or break for several wrestling stars over the years, the climax for the most WWF feuds in recent memory. It has even garnered its very own pay-per-view event. Rikishi hayrides aside. And you guys know my relationship with the Samoan dynasty, particularly with Rikishi. Mahalo. We'll get on to that at the end here if we have time. Go back to the previous story time for here on Easter Sunday, and you guys will understand what I'm talking about leading into Monday, the first week of April. The eclipse! Okay, where were we? Rikishi, hayrides aside. Perhaps one of the most brutal and iconic spectacles in the last 2 decades, remember the time frame here, we're in the time machine, was that of Mankind being launched onto the Spanish announcer's booth by The Undertaker from the top of the Hell in a Cell cage in the summer of 1998. Sure, his ear was turned off in Germany many years before this. But it was this match that forever solidified Mick Foley's status as the king of hardcore. And you guys know my history with Mick. Yeah, I took Mr. Sacco from Mick Foley. Yeah, how did it feel, Lawler, when I hit you from behind with that roll of quarters in the back of the neck? Don't think I forgot about you two. You're still both here. I haven't forgot. It's here on the channel. That's right. Long feuds with the king. Mick Foley, I thought we were buddies when we were hanging out backstage on Monday Night Raw. No, you gave me some of your chicken wings, man. He said, here. Then I have to take that disgusting sock from some dweeb, nerd, geek in the front row. Don't think I forgot, Mick. And that's why you guys are here, the relatable stories. The good, the bad, and the ugly on Chaos Corner. Loser leaves town match. Not to be mistaken for the one-hit wonder pink slip on a pole match. If you know, you know. During the late 90s Attitude Era, this match is usually set up for the wrestler on their way out, and thus the storyline ending in an orchestrated work to write the departed wrestler out of the company. The loser leaves town. I've been accused of that before. The steel cage match is self-explanatory, but I'll break it down to you. According to these goons, it is story time. I'll lend my credence. These days, the steel cage is a watered-down gimmick match. I agree. But during the 70s and 80s, the cage was seen as a quintessential game changer. Just ask Don Morocco, Jimmy Snuka, or even Paul Orndorff, whose Saturday night's main event, the tie, the draw, was the closest he ever came to WWF Gold. Sorry, Mr. Wonderful. Rest in peace, Mr. Wonderful. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. How about that for lyrical, historical rhymes? No? Horseshoes and hand grenades. Let that sink in. Not cage matches and immortal leg drops. A.K.A. Hulk Hogan. Come on, you guys catching on? Anyone here? McFly? Hello? Is anybody home? Royal Rumble match. First won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan back in 1988. The Rumble match has become a wrestling institution and precursor to WrestleMania season, which we're in right now. Raising the bar of the traditional Battle Royal concept, this match is a yearly tradition, much like the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and the Survivor Series. We know the true meaning. It's for the kids. Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the bunny trail. Hippity hop hop, hippity hop hop. Easter's on its way. No? Well, it's here. It's here right now, man. a little side entertainment. Don't get distracted. But this is why I'm here. This is late night, man. What do you want? This is one of my late night episodes. This is what you get. Usually I'm here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning or mid-morning, sometime in the afternoons. Once in a while at supper time. That's what I said, supper. The late night shows that I used to do when we got a concept coming up are priceless. This is what you get. You never know what's going to happen. That's why you're here. Now, let me get back to what I was talking about. We talked about the Royal Rumble match, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 1988. The Hollywood Backlot Brawl. Well, that's what we'll call it for these purposes. This once-in-a-lifetime match, which stole the WrestleMania show, came complete with the Golden Cadillac. An OJ-inspired white Bronco chase. Do we have to go down that road? A gown man in lingerie. A grown man in lingerie. Really? Do I have to get onto the political BS that's going on now here in 2024? Let's not do it. You be you and I'll be me. Don't force it on me. I'll defend my freedom until the day I die. Remember that. As should you. And yes, a victory by the often imitated but never duplicated Rowdy Roddy Piper. Did I tell you I worked with a different distance, maybe? I don't know if they were related, but Pat the Brat Piper. Google it, DuckDuckGo it. Pat the Brat Piper. Quite the independent, I'm not sure how far he went in his career, but in the times where myself and the Jackmaster John Diamond were competing against Superfly, Jimmy Snuka, and his son. Yeah, I have quite the history with the late, great Superfly as well. Yeah, Pat the Brat Piper was his manager on this side. I'll never forget the night in Boston where John Diamond had Snuka from behind with the double underhooks, well, double back hooks, I could say, holding him for me as I ran and sprinted as fast as I could anyway, doing the 40-yard dash, it felt like, with a coconut, a legit coconut that we bought at the market earlier that day in Boston. Superfly ducked and I jacked the Jackmaster with the coconut across his dome piece. And we ended up at Boston General till about 3 o'clock in the morning, where he had, like, I don't know, maybe a half dozen staples in his head as the blood was gushing right there in the ring, and we went through white towel after white towel. Superfly Snuka, yours truly. And then he gave me the monster headbutt and hit Diamond with the flying body press off the top rope. Yeah, we went down that night, man. But at least we were in the main event. Superfly. Now let's get back onto what I was talking about here. A Buried Alive match. Chances are your feud with The Undertaker will end in one of 3 ways. A tombstone piledriver, a WrestleMania defeat, or a notch in the loss column, courtesy of the ill-fated Buried Alive match. Remember the time frame here, fans. We're in the time machine here on Story Time. Severally painfully wretched alternatives to this match exist in the form of the casket match. In order to win, you must force your opponent into the ringside casket. Hello? And the Last Ride match. The same concept, except the coffin is replaced by a hearse. These matches, although unique in their own right, are about as predictable as the chorus of boos during the Nikolai Volkov Russian national anthem circa 1986. Oh, no, Nikolai impression of the Russian national anthem. Then the Iron Sheik. No. I thought that was pretty good, man. Go check the video of Volkov and get back to me. I think I was close there. The Kiss My Ass match. Should we even talk about this with the current state of affairs with... That's good shit, pal. Vince McMahon, Jr. Not to be confused with the Kiss My Ass Club. However, this painful gimmick match, which saw The Rock beat Mr. Ass Billy Gunn, was far more worse than Vince McMahon dropping his trousers on Raw in every hotel room and backyard alley and closet and front office space that he could too. At least that's what's alleged, man. I'm just telling you the news that I got. What? It's been reported. What am I saying? Oh, but perhaps not worse than Rocky Maivia's hair-raising Survivor Series debut or Kip James' rockabilly misstep. What are we talking about here, man? Really? Let's forge on. We're 25 minutes on this story time. This is the longest one by far, but I get carried away sometimes. It's ad lib. It's impromptu, prompting me to be impromptu. The blindfold match. Much like the pink elephant in the room, this match between Jake the Snake Roberts and Rick Martel sticks out like a sore thumb among the annals. That's right, I said annals of pro wrestling gimmick matches, aside from the most welcomed DDT in WrestleMania history. Let that sink in. This match helped usher the boring chant into the national pay-per-view spotlight. That's right, the boring chant during a blindfold match, if you've seen the history. I wouldn't call it boring. It's a crazy concept. It's been going on in the business for years. Just remember all the current storylines in 2024, the previous year of 2023, the last decades, 2 decades, they were told 30, 40, 50 years ago. Their stories 30 years ago were told 50 years ago. Just the game don't change. The faces do. That's just a fact. That's how it is. So do your research on the territories and even before history. You know that's one of the things that I love here on the channel. And you'll understand what I'm talking about when it comes to storylines and history in real life or in pro wrestling. It repeats itself. Remember that. I know a lot of you are aware of that. The World War III match. Remember, that's where boring started, they say. Again, just because they say it doesn't mean it's true. Remember that. Do use your own discernment. I keep saying that. World War III match. How apropos in 2024. I don't know if I could say that here on the tube, but it's sports entertainment. It's pro wrestling. It's history. It's facts, man. What do you want me to tell you? No copyright here. No infringement, man. Come on, man. Lighten up, tube. 3 rings, 60 wrestlers, and 4 pay-per-views later, the WW3, I'll keep it that way, World War III, never made quite the impact that Turner Brass had hoped of the Turner Broadcasting Network, as we know. TBS, TNT, Ted Turner, Hanoi Jane Fonda. The inaugural event, won by the Macho Man, Randy Savage, featured a collection of the best and worst of WCW's power plant. Oh, brother. Sergeant Craig Pittman and Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker, not to mention the likes of VK Wall Street, Big Train Bart, Max Muscle, and then, of course, in my opinion, the late great legend, Pistol Pez Watley. Shaska Watley, if you will, at one time. The scaffold match. Snacking on danger and dining on death. Oh, what a rush. It's one thing, but partaking in the ill-fated scaffold match at Starrcade 86, which I did the review right here on the channel. Check it out. It's here on the Chaos Show. There's over 400 episodes of Chaos Corner, the show. And I covered Starrcade 86 and that scaffold match here. Navigate the channel. I keep telling you guys. 2,800 videos, man. 2,900 probably by now. Fortunately for the Road Warriors and the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, the only injury in this one-dimensional match was Jim Cornette when he fell off in Big Bubba Rogers and busted his knee during a post-match squabble because Bubba didn't catch him. If you listen to Cornette tell him, and I know tell a story, and I know a lot of you guys here on Chaos Corner, it says, according to my analytics, that a lot of you also listen to the Jim Cornette Experience and the drive-through and Dutch Mantel stories. That's what it says, man. A lot of you guys listen to Off the Script. A lot of you guys listen to Don Tony and Kevin Castleman. That's what my analytics say here. Those are the people you listen to besides the G.O.C. That's good company, man. So, again, it's right here on the channel. The empty arena match. If Janet Jackson's exposing a nipple slip during the Super Bowl halftime was a mistake, then the WWF's halftime heat between The Rock and Mankind was a very close second. You guys remember that, right? Do your research. I keep telling you. Speaking of close second, this list cannot be complete without mentioning the WCW's King of the Road match between Dustin Rhodes and the Blacktop Bully. You guys know who that is, right? Anyone? Bueller, the Blacktop Bully, Demolition, Crusher Khrushchev, Barry Darso, the Repo Man. Well, I gave you a chance to answer. You weren't quick enough. I said Bueller. From the creators of the Mae Young Handbirth and the Brawl for All series. You guys remember this? Classic stuff. You're here. This is why you're here. I keep telling you to learn. This combination of steel cages and canines brought new meaning to the term lame, as Al Snow and the Big Boss Man fought over the prestigious hardcore title. The true essence of this once epic battle was summed up literally by the dog crap left surrounding the ring. Here's 10 side slammers for you on Storytime with the G.O.C. This is their opinion. I'll give you mine. Do your research. This is what you're here for. Do I keep repeating that? Am I saying that a lot right now in this 30-minute story time with the G.O.C.? I hope you guys stay here for the whole show. Shout out to everyone that's here. Catch me on the replay. It's late night. Side slammers with the G.O.C. According to the notes and facts here, semi-facts we'll say. Just the facts, please. 10 dream matches they would pay to see, and they say that you guys and gals would pay to see. Remember the time frame. Remember we are in the time machine. So when I say we're going back, let me check here the life and death of 100 greatest gods and gimmicks. How apropos. In the wrestling world, don't get crazy. Let me just see the time frame here, guys. This was written back in 2012. So remember the time frame. So it's in the current era, but it's certainly not dated way back. So I just want to remember the time machine here. Top 10 dream matches you guys like to see. Leave a comment. Say something. Let me get your opinion. I'll give you mine. You know I respond to every comment on this channel. You know that, right? Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair in the 1980s. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Macho Man Randy Savage. The Rock versus Andre the Giant. Stone Cold versus Hulk Hogan. And this one recently was talked about. Sting versus The Undertaker. Ric Flair from the 1970s versus Ric Flair present day, which isn't fair because we're in 2024. This book was released in 2012. It still wouldn't be fair. I don't know how old Flair was then. He's 70-something now. So, again, just because they say it, use your own discernment. And I've said that several times. Now, if you said Ric Flair from the 70s versus Ric Flair from the early 90s, that's more apropos, and that's my viewpoint here. Santino Marella versus George the Animal Steele. Certainly nothing that I would pay to see. I worked in the late 90s, middle 90s, on the same event and got to hang out and pick the brain, briefly, with George the Animal Steele. And for the 2,000 fans as well. Again, being in the locker rooms and talking to the guys and the historical figures and the legends and being on the road and the travel stories, different town, the bars, the restaurants, the after lounge, the hotel rooms, unbelievable stories, unbelievable knowledge that was passed on and wisdom, and it really was worth the price of admission alone for me. I would do it all over again. I got started a little late in the business. You guys know that I went to school back in 1984, my first journey into it. Met the Tonga Kid in 83, which led to me going into school in 84, briefly. Kenny Passarillo's Quest under the guidance of Tough Tony Altamori. Mario Mancini was there at the time, along with Dave Barbie and AJ Petrucci and so on and so forth, and the different guys that have gone through there, from Mark Thomas to Big Steve Tracy to Paul Perez to Paul Roma himself, Dr. D. David Schultz, the Samoans, Tony Atlas, Tony Gurria. I mean, everybody from New York went to the Quest facility. So I was honored. Didn't work out the way I wanted due to injuries, so on and so forth, and obligations, and then children, and then 25 years behind the walls, bounty hunter. You guys know the story. And then made my debut as I regrouped and came back after traveling on the road in 88, 89, briefly learning from WCW guys like the Samoan SWAT team, Michael Hayes, Doom, Jack Victory, different guys that I traveled with, learning the business. Priceless. Being in the same locker rooms, and the list goes on. And then being able to make my debut in 1991 as a pro wrestling manager. I guess you could say I officially walked away from in-ring stuff in probably 2007, 2008, and then stayed in touch, lost 3 or 4 years there, and came back strong in 2015, 2016 after the passing of my oldest daughter for Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling, and still to the current day, 2024, hence my 40-year journey in this industry. Can't beat that. Memories are made of this. A lot of them are behind me. Oh, so let me get back sidetracked here on the top 10 dream matches. We were talking about Flair and Santino and the Animal. Here's another one. Vince McMahon versus Ted Turner at the height of the Monday Night Wars. We had McMahon in the Trumpster. We did. DJT Jr. and McMahon, the hair-saving match. I don't know if it's still on the network. The Road Warriors versus the Dudleys. Could be an interesting one for classic for sure. Jimmy Snuka versus Ricky Steamboat versus Rey Mysterio. I'm not sure who came up with that one, but interesting nonetheless. Not sure it would be my top 10, but some worthy opponents and worthy matchups here. Remember the time frame. Fans, we went much longer than I wanted to, but I'm enjoying the heck out of myself. So I hope you guys do here on the late night with Chaos Corner on Guardian of Chaos, the YouTube channel, for story time. So keep updated on the community page, all my social media, and come on back. You know I'm always putting something up. Thank you guys. Much love and respect. I'll say that to say this, because I tell it like it is. Don't you dare miss it.